Good business.
He used to make his own whiskey and sell it. He had the regular whiskey there, but because during probation, before the war there, you couldn't have liquor. You had to bootleg it, black market. And he had a soda truck that had a compartment. And he used to put his whiskey there and sell that on the road. That's how he opened the bar there. See, but when you tap a barrel of beer, you got to be careful. If you don't tap it right, you can lose the whole barrel because the pressure of that stuff got in there. And so he showed me how to do that. So every once in a while, you had to go downstairs and put a new barrel because the barrels are about this big. And that big long rod used to go down there, and then you had to tighten it tight with it. And then the beer you draw up with the pressure. And the beer was nice and cold though. And then we had bottled beer too, like a glass for a nickel a glass. Bottled beer was 15 cents, And then Sunday morning, we had a big ice box, but maybe a little longer than that. That's a full of beer Sunday morning and throw ice on it because they had no refrigerator. And we couldn't sell nothing until 1 o'clock, legally. And we used to sell that the whole thing in the morning before 1 o'clock. Kids come to the window for their father and, for their family beer. Quarter beer. Well, some, I don't know, years ago, used to have tins. Used to fill the tin up, And when they had the tins, you had to be careful when you fill it because if you left the tin on the bottom and draw it down, it'll all foam up. And when the foam went down, it was that much beer in it.
Yeah, of course.
So when I used to fill it one time, I held it, but I didn't hold it close. You're supposed to tip it, and let it go slow so get all beer. And the kid went home, when time went home with no beer in it. So my father said, "What'd you do?" I said, "I filled it up." He said, "How'd you do that?" So I showed him. No. Gotta tip it and go slow, and then fill up. Because by the time the kid got home, the beer was nice foam, Looked like a marshmallow. That's what it looked like. So we sold more beer from 8 o'clock in the morning to 1 o'clock on Sunday. And then he used to deliver in his car during the week.
And he never got caught selling in the morning?
I used to go there in the morning before school, clean up. When I was younger, And then he bought me a car to do when I was in high school to do it. Then I drove to school. I had the big shot there. But I tell you, when he had the bar, I had money. When he sold that place, I had no money. My kid brother would be hit the register. My father's outside, and he's ringing the register. I said, "What are you doing?" I took a few pennies, right? My father walks in, he gets the money, throws it in the cooler. I said, "Don't take the money when he's there."
Of course.
He knew he took it. Because the guys said, "Come there have a drink in the morning." Just have a drink sometimes. And they pay for it, and I put it in the register. And they tell my father, "Hey, in Italian, this guy here, get his hands in a drawer." So my father said in Italian, "If I pay somebody going to steal, better he steals."
You know
my father's pretty shrewd.
Yeah. You remember where the bar was? Like,
where was it?
Yeah.
In Inwood on Bard Avenue.
You know what that building is now?
Yeah, I don't know if you've been there. You've been in Inwood?
I've been to Inwood, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you know where
I've been to
what, Henry Street?
Yeah, I've been to the house for one of
from Henry Street, you go down there, the big hill there, go down there, bottom of the hill, with the bar. It was about maybe 5-minute walk to the house from where we lived.
Yeah. Is there still a building there now?
Street. I was born up on Church Street. Then my father got a house on Henry Street, where everybody lived. Oh, my sister lived on Henry Street. Everybody had a house on Henry Street, so it was a family block. And when I was on Church Street, we were closer to the bar because it was down the street, 1 block over. But when we moved 1 block up, so it was 1 block more to walk. So every night, I used to bring food to my father, supper time.
Mm.
And just bring a tray of food and come back. And then on the weekends, Saturday night was my night to work.
Mhm.
Sunday was my brother's night when we were older. But when younger, I used to go there in the morning, clean up.
Mhm.
My older sister used to do it, not the older one, the oldest one of the youngest. She used to clean it. And then when I got old enough, she went to work in the defense plant then. The war broke out and they were hiring other people from the defense plant. So she went to work for making airplanes. She didn't make it, whatever job she had. So a lot of people went to the defense plant. So that's that's where a lot of Italian people went to work because they got a full-time job. During the war, they used to have defense plants, Grumman's Republic, Columbia, and everybody went to work there. And they started to get $1.50 an hour. They used to work for 50 cents an hour.
Oh.
And by the time the war was over, the guys were making $5, $6 an hour. You know, when people made $18 a week, that's like people making $100.
Yeah.
You know, the rent was like $12 a month.
Mhm.
You had 3-bedroom house, 2-bedroom house.
Oh, wow.
So when the war broke out, that's when, and then you couldn't buy gas. You had to have stickers.
Mhm.
If you worked the French plant, you got a B sticker. You got gas whatever you needed. But you had to have a car full of people to take to work.
Mhm.
So you had to have 5 guys in a car, you got a B sticker. Other people got an A sticker, maybe 3 gallons a week. You couldn't buy gas unless you bought black market. And black market gas was what, 8 cents a gallon. Black market was $1. So we used to get black market gas once in a while, my father, because he delivered beer.
Right.
And he had a big 37 Buick, you know. And that was 1940, 41. Because they made no cars during the war.
Right.
From 41 to 46, there was no cars made. So a used car was like a new car.
Why did they sold the liquors? Why did they sold the bar?
Well, he gets sick, he had asthma.
Ah.
And the smokers to get him. And he knew a lot of people, and he got a job in the sanitation department.
Ah.
But he never had a job in his life. Everything was on his own.
Oh.
And when he was sanitation, then he got a pension and everything, you know.
Oh.
But he was already 50 years old then. 48, I think he was, when he got the job. But he had asthma, and the smokers to
Killed him.
choke him to death, you know.
Mhm.
When we used to go home at night on a Sunday morning, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, by the time he got in the car, he'd be puffing.
Oh.
Winter time, window wide open because he couldn't breathe.
Mm.
They don't have the stuff they have today. Now they got that
Right.
stuff in the mouth, and
Right.
at that time they used to, we call it red medicine. It was a little bottle of medicine, red. Just take it. And that did him in. And then he smoked around, and then it wasn't so much cigarettes. The Italian cigars, they stink like hell. I
Yeah.
never ever saw one.
No,
Looked
that's,
like a piece of rope.
No.
And the guy used to puff on him, you know.
Oh.
Then they used to have a game when they played cards. The losers buy the beer. All right? And they used to have 3, 4 tables playing, and then they combine one table, and they used to play boss and second. What that meant, there'd be like 12, 13 guys, okay? And they all throw fingers in. And they count the fingers, and they start with you. And where that the number ended, you was the boss, and he was second, okay? Now they ordered the beer or cigars, whatever they wanted, they ordered, and then the boss would say, that guy can't have a drink. And the second boss says that he can't have a drink. And they then the boss would say, well then you can't have a drink. He had to drink them all. And take it all. And the guy used to get pissified drunk. Because some guys, they didn't want to drink. And while you're playing, you couldn't buy a beer. If you bought a beer, you had to buy it for the house.
Oof.
That was the rules, you know.
Oh, my
So if you're playing cards, you was stuck. A lot of guys, they could get a drink, but the guys didn't like each other, and they wouldn't give that guy drink, and he wouldn't give that. And then the two bosses didn't like each other, different guys. The bosses said, "Well, then I'll drink them all," and they drank them all. You know, there's 8, 9 beers, and the cigars. The cigars a place for beer, you know, and sometimes you drank 15, 20 beers by the night was over.
Wow.
You couldn't have no wine or just beer, and if you wanted wine and whiskey, you go to the bar and drink it. But while you're playing cards, a lot of people sat in the bar didn't bother.
Right.
But the ones that played cards, they're the same thing with the boats. You used to play bocce. The closest to the ball, the small ball, was the boss.
Mm-hmm.
The next was the second boss.
Ah.
So we used to have a back window in the summertime. And it was pretty crowded there in the summertime because we'd have lights out. And it was so hot, nobody had air conditioning. They used to come over there, drink the beer, sit outside, and play. Cause we had 3 courts, you know. And I had to maintain the courts. You know, I had to make sure there was no grass growing there. I had to wet it, roll it, sweep it, you know, every day.
Wow.
And it was little boards about this high boards, you know, well, maybe 50 feet long. You put together and across, and on the corners you carry them this way, you know, so the ball could come off around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had to maintain it, so because you had to be nice and smooth. And when the guys used to sometimes hit somebody to throw the ball up in the air, and they'll say, "You want to hit balls here, and the little ball's there, and you want to get this guy away, so you try to hit him on the fly instead of the ground."
Mm.
And usually dents,
Yeah.
and you had to go there and clean it up.
Oh, really?
So that was a job every day in the summertime, night.
Wow.
So I had to be there at nighttime in summer. I couldn't go nowhere. Well, I was like 13, 14 anyway. Where was I going to go?
Right.
But when he sold the bar, was just right because that's the time I started to go out nights. You know,
It was a good timing.
I used to go to the movies every Sunday night with Gloria. Taking it one Sunday night, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. You had to be home by 9. But so he sold the bar then, and right at Christmas of '46. And that was our last time we were there. And then the guy in the county got him the job. He knew the county executive or something. I don't know. He had a lot of friends anyway. And that's how he ended up in San Diego. That was a good thing for him because that's my mother with a pension. The other way, she had nothing.
Right. That's good. Good for him.
Yeah, there's a lot of stories there.
But none of the experience we can go back and like our generation,
Now,
we will not experience ever that.
I don't know, and when you went to work, you had the money into the house. I went to work as a mechanic for Chrysler people when I got out of high school. I used to give my mother all the money, and she used to give me $10. Well, that was a custom in there. That's what everybody in the family did. You know, everybody did that. But when I went in the service, I sent money home. My mother kept it for me.
Oh.
She didn't use it. I told her to use it if you need it. She didn't. So when I got home, I had a few $1,000s.
Okay.
Because I sent the allotment home for my pay. I only kept X amount of dollars and the rest I sent home. I knew I needed the money when I got home. But them days you went to work, you hand the money to the house.
Yeah. That's right.
But $10 was enough money at that time for me.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Today the kids, they're working, you gotta give money besides. Now you turn the money in them days. Well, you didn't know any better. That's what you saw when you grew up. My older sisters used to do the same thing when they worked. I don't know how much they got out of it, but I mean, that's what I got. But I was only making $35 a week.
Yeah.
You know, the first job I had. Then when I got out of service, I went to work for the trucking company, and that only started with $50 a week, and that's 1953.
Oh wow.
But that was the going wages.
Yeah.
The guy made $5,000 a year then. That was media income.
Mm-hmm.
Today, media income, you need 200,000.
Yeah. Now everything is expensive.
As I say, I started with $2.06 an hour. 39 years later, it was $19 an hour. Now how you figure that out?
Right. Right.
Same job, right?
Right.
Same people renting leasing the trucks. The more they paid, the more you got.
Yeah.
But I had good benefits on my job. I used to get gas for nothing.
That's good.
I should take it. That was my bonus. My kids didn't buy a gallon of gas when they were in school.
I really.
They all got gas. I bring 5 gallons a day home.
And so you used to carry every day?
Carried home. Paul was going to college. He was stopping at my place. We go down the street, and I was full of take 2 5-gallon cans to go down block full of coffee and go to college. Al, same thing. Charlene and Renee, because they had the senior had all their cars going to school. So they didn't buy a gallon of gas. Well, gas is only 20 cents a gallon and 25 cents a gallon.
But still, it's a help.
Yeah.
Oh, she's sleeping.
Oh, it's a dog?
Yeah.
He's probably getting... Whoa.
She's dreaming.
So when she is not saying, she gets out of the window and starts crying because Charlene's not home yet.
Oh, yeah. That's probably it. He's nervous because they've been gone for a while.
Yeah, the experience you have now today, look what they got today. Televisions, computers,
Yeah.
phones. They didn't have a phone in the house.
Too much nowadays.
But that's bad with a phone though. I said to my wife when we were at school, let's take off to go to the movies. No, I can't do that. They'll call my house. Call your house. Yeah. You mean you gave the phone number? She said, yeah, you dope, yeah. You ain't got my phone number.
They didn't have it.
No, I wouldn't give my phone number.
What would you say? I don't have it?
No, I had no phone. A lot of people had no phones. And them times with party line too. Sometimes you pick up your phone, you couldn't use it, somebody else on it.
Right.
Yeah, party lines. And we didn't have a phone till right after the war. You know, but I would, when I went to high school, they asked if you had a phone number. You know? And I said, where'd you get the phone number? If you want to take off, oh, I can't do that. Yeah.
You knew the tricks.
No, well, every once in a while, I used to take off to go to the movies. It was 20 cents for the movies. You had to walk there.
That's funny.
Especially when I had a gym class, I didn't go the whole year.
No.
I got my report card still yet. The whole year shows missing. I used to go to the dance. You used to have a place where you used to have lunch hour, 11 to 1. People, different lunch hours, could eat and go in the, where they have the music, dancing and stuff, you know, jitterbug and stuff like that. So I used to go there at 11 o'clock on a day, and then have my lunch after. So my whole period, the whole market period.
And you
But
still,
now, gym you have to have to
it's
graduate.
mandatory, yes.
Yeah, but before Kennedy put that shit in there. But before he was there, you didn't have that. You only had, I think it was English, math, and certain things required to graduate. So I went to them classes. Then every once in a while, it was good movies. And take off or maybe go to Yankee Stadium. So what happened was, take off and go to the movies. Oh no, they'll call my husband, mother, kill me. So one day she told her mother about it. The mother said, if you go to the movies, let me know so I could tell that you're sick. But it only happened once that she did that, wanted to see a movie. But they didn't call. Before the telephones, they used to have a truant office come to your house. Guys come to your house if you were sick. He used to call truant officers. Yeah, Mr. Crab, his name was. He used to come to your house.
Did they ever come to your house?
Well, when I was a kid, I didn't miss school.
Oh, you didn't.
I school all the time. School was down the street from me anyway. And it was fun for me to get out of school, get away from work.
Of course.
No, but when I got to high school, you start doing different things. You go crazy. And I'm surprised why I didn't smoke, because all my friends smoke. You know, when my father buys, take cigarettes to them. There was a brand called 20 Grand, name of a cigarette. It was a pack of cigarettes with a horse's head on it. And that was the cheapest cigarettes that were sold at that time. And I used to take a pack a day to school. If I had 7 or 8 friends who smoked, I used to give, because you could buy a cigarette for a penny. You could call Lucy's at that time. Go to the store and buy a cigarette for a penny. And the candy store guy used to sell it to the kids for a penny.
So do you used to sell them too?
No, I gave it to them. No.
That's
The only gambling I did when it was baseball season, you used to pick 3 guys to get 6 hits for a dime, and you get 40 cents back. And it was hard to get 3 guys. I used to get Williams, DiMaggio, and Usual. And very seldom I got 6 hits in one day. They all had to get 2 hits apiece. Sometimes they didn't get up twice. So that was the only gambling I did. But that's why I used to play the horses a lot. When you got to high school, everything, you were shooting dice. So you used to have a corner around a school, a little spot in the yard. You used to shoot dice there.
Nice.
Cards. And the people that used to caddy, at the golf course, they had no go-karts, you caddy the bags. And you got $1.50 a bag. And that's where you learn how to gamble a lot. Because you waited for the caddy master to say, you're up. The customer will take you and you carry the bag for the 18 holes for $1.50. Sometimes you carry 2 bags for $3. So I did that a lot of times to make extra money on the weekend. Yeah, that was about 17. I was going to the senior prom, and I was working during the week, but on Sunday I didn't work, so I should go to the club and pick up maybe twice a day, once a day.
That's nice.
Yeah, you had to buy you rent a tuxedo, it was about $8. You had to buy a corsage.
Yeah.
And then my brother would let me use his car.
He wouldn't, or he did?
Yeah.
Oh, he did. So where was the prom?
We was at the high school.
At the high school.
High school gym. And then we went out after that to a restaurant. Now they go on the beach and they go away for weekends. No, you went to the prom, you had to be home by 12 o'clock. No, it was at the prom they had a band because there was no DJ at that time. You had a band there and you danced there. And had drinks, but only no alcohol. Then you went to a restaurant. After you leave 11 o'clock, so you could be home by 12.
Oh. Did she really cry, or is like that?
Now they go to nightclubs and stuff.
Oh yeah, and they don't come back until next day.
The girls got dressed up in a gown and everything, but they had to be home. But I said, well, what difference does it make? if you're overnight, no, things are gonna happen. It's gonna happen before at any time. You don't have to wait till 12 o'clock. But you know, they had that in their mind, you know, the old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
Today's different. You can't stop that stuff today.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
God forbid if you had a bad name in school. Oh my
They
God!
will pick on you.
It went through the whole school.
Ah.
No, it means if you had like a bad reputation.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
I see.
not like a funny name.
You know, you had one of the fast girl with.
Yeah.
You had a couple of girls in high school that looked pretty sharp when I went there. You know. So you start talking to them, people. So I had to stay away because my girlfriend would be right there.
Oh, really?
You know.
That's nice.
Today they go all the way for the weekend. Them on overnight.
Yeah. So much changes now. So much.
But they still have them though. That's the main thing.
Yeah, they do. They do. Now they even do the kind of a little mini prom from when you graduate from grammar school. They have that.
No, grammar school. You just got a diploma and you went home.
Right. Yeah, but like now they have the prom after 8th grade.
Junior
Oh,
prom.
they have dances too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing we had is on Monday night, the church had a social. That was the dancing. And you had to be in high school to do it, you know. So that's what we do on Monday night. And then on Tuesday nights, they had skating at the public school. But I used to hang out at the YMCA until I started to go with Gloria. So then she was able to go skating. And skating was over at 9:30. So she'd be home by 10. And the dance at the church was done 9:30, 7 to 9:30. So she'd be able to go to the church and roller skating. But then the rest of it, we used to go to the YMCA. That was there until 12 o'clock at night.
So you like dancing?
Oh yeah, I still love to dance.
That's nice. That's pretty cool. That's good. You should take this.
Yeah, so it's good.